Howdy folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you I have the first in hopefully a series of videos titled The Skies of Ace Combat. This is where I'm going to take time, I'm going to talk about various planes that are featured in Ace Combat, and today's video is probably going to feature, honestly, my favorite modern plane. Today I'm going to be talking about the A-10 Warthog. And what the A-10 Warthog is a specialized subsonic attack plane. It is designed and produced by Fairchild Republic. The A-10 is named Thunderbolt, being inspired by the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, which flew in World War II. Now, even though its official name is Thunderbolt, a lot of people have coined it Warthog, and it's kind of become widely accepted that the plane, a lot of people call the plane Warthog, so either name kind of goes either direction. The A-10 came about because of an order for a new ground support platform to replace the Douglas A-1 Skyraider. The new plane would have to have improved performance and firepower over the A-1 Skyraider. When the United States entered the Vietnam War, the primary attack plane was the Skyraider. The Skyraider was a propeller-driven plane from actually the Korean War, and while the Skyraider performed well in some regards, by Vietnam, aviation technology had really advanced and it wasn't performing as well as it used to. And it was also found to be susceptible to gunfire. Actually, when the order was put in place for a new plane, by that point, between the Air Force and the United States Navy, they had lost a total of 266 A-1 Skyraiders. And this was mostly due to small arms fire. The main problem being actually the propeller. They had to keep the plane kind of lightly armored for the time. And, well, the propeller was susceptible to being hit by gunfire as well. And, of course, if the propeller takes damage, well, you're kind of SOL. Other aircraft like the A-7 Corsair, which would actually end up costing a lot more to actually run than what was originally detailed in the proposals for it, would be used in the role of an attacker. And while the A-7 actually did a fairly good job being an attacker, like I said, it was very expensive to operate, as well as by this point, even though it was still a fairly new plane, it already needed upgrades. Other planes would also be forced into the position of an attack role, such as the F-5 Tiger and the F-4 Phantom. And while the F-4 actually did a fairly decent job at being an attacker, mostly dropping bombs, it still really wasn't what the Air Force wanted. Enter the AX program. On September 8th, 1966, U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff John McConnell would order a specialized cast plane to be designed, developed, and produced. On March 6th, 1967, the Air Force, after an extensive series of investigations, would release a request of information to 21 defense contractors. The Air Force would collect the information, but in May of 1970, the Air Force would make changes to the requirements and would release more detailed requests for proposals. The proposals would detail that the plane be armed with a 30mm Vulcan cannon, have a maximum speed of 460 miles per hour, take off distance of 4,000 feet, that's basically a runway length, the range, an operational range of 285 miles, and around a $6.1 million per unit price tag. 6 companies would submit proposals, and 2 would be accepted for prototypes. One of those prototypes was the Northrop YA-9, and of course the other would be the Fairchild Republic with its YA-10. General Electric and Philco Ford were both given the deal to kind of would deal with the design, testing, and production of the 30mm GAU-8 Vulcan cannon, the infamous Vulcan cannon that we know the A-10 for now. 2 prototypes of the YA-10 were built and delivered and first flown by Howard Nelson on May 10th, 1972, and the YA-10 would begin its trials against the YA-9 January 10th, 1973. Of the 2 planes, the United States Air Force would select the YA-10, and they would also select General Electric for productions of the GAU-8 minigun. Sorry, Vulcan cannon. So there we go. There's kind of an origin there of the GAU-8. Full production of the A-10 wouldn't be accepted until February 10th, 1976. That's kind of when they went, yep, just go off the chain, produce as many of these things as you can, as fast as you can. Air Force Tactical Command would begin accepting the first planes on March 30th, 1976. And by 1984, the Air Force would have a total of 715 planes. They had quite a few of these. And I believe there's almost 800 of them now, still in service. The A-10, there was an A-10 variant. It was a 2-seat trainer that was produced but never adopted. This is the YA-10B. As I said, it was designed to be a trainer, but was canceled by Congress. However, the trainer, the test plane, the YA-10B, can be seen at the Test Center Museum at Edwards Air Force Base. So quite of an extensive history here on the A-10. And it's quite a famous plane for obvious reasons. But that being said, folks, I'm actually going to wrap up today's video. I just kind of want to give a short primer of the A-10. Now, that being said, based on like the feedback I get and like the interest I get from people, I might end up revisiting the A-10C, because when it was introduced, it was the A-10A, and there's been a lot of upgrades, and there's a lot more history to really get into. And honestly, I could really only go over, like, why was this thing even produced, the test flight. I really couldn't even get into the full information of the test flight, because unfortunately, I just didn't have that much game footage to actually work with. And, well, when it comes to Ace Combat 7, I'd really love to let the A-10 Warthog off the chain. So come on, guys, give me an excuse to let this thing off the chain again. Show me some likes. Share this video around. I really kind of appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Skies of Ace Combat videos and learn more about the planes that's in the game. I mean, me particularly, when doing this research, I did not know about the 2-seat variant of the A-10 Warthog. So that was actually something new I learned when doing the research for this. Anyway, folks, hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have yourself a wonderful day.